Good evening. This is a regularly scheduled meeting of the Waterville City Council. There are agendas available in the file pockets near the entrance or online on the City of Waterville's website. All items appearing on the consent agenda are voted on in one motion and vote. Generally, these items are routine in nature and do not require discussion. All items listed under unfinished business or new business are voted on separately. First, councilors will be given an opportunity for questions or comments. Once all councilors have had an opportunity to speak, citizens will be given an opportunity for comments or questions. Citizens must either speak at the podium or online and identify themselves. Each citizen will be allowed one opportunity to speak and will be limited to 3 minutes. Finally, the councilors will be given another opportunity to speak. Citizens who would like to speak on a topic that does not appear on tonight's agenda will have an opportunity to do so at the end of the meeting under the public comments section of the agenda. Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, consent agenda. Any conflict of interest before we get started? Seeing none, I am moving on to the consent agenda.
You got the reports.
Oh, geez, that's right. Let's go back to the first page.
Yes.
Finance Committee. Reports.
Committee reports.
Report from
Finance Committee,
Finance Committee. Oh, sure.
turn your mic on, please.
Finance Committee met last Thursday and reviewed the entire budget and the shortfalls that we're being concerned about. The committee made a number of recommendations to the administration. We took those recommendations back and worked through some budget cutbacks with the major department heads. We picked up a few $100,000 in doing that. We also looked at the availability of reserves and the accounting that had taken place over the last several years regarding expenditures that were chargeable to bonds that were not charged to the bonds. As of today, we were able to identify about $800,000 in such charges that, because they've been now charged against the bond proceeds that are available for those purposes, and it all had to do with paving, the $800,000 can now be added to the unassigned fund balance, which increases that amount by up to about 15%. We will put together a couple of options for the Finance Committee, which is meeting again on Thursday, to do the best that we can to maintain the current mill rate and to cover as many of the reasonable costs that we've projected for next year without dipping below the 12% reserve that we want to maintain in the unassigned fund balance.
Councilor Frankie.
Just to reiterate what I've been saying for the past several months, the budget process is way behind. We have 2 regular council meetings scheduled for June. Tonight's meeting and 2 weeks from tonight. If we were in normal procedure, we would be voting on the full budget tonight, so that in 2 weeks we could do a final vote for the budget. Again, I just wish to express my displeasure at the way the budget process has gone this year.
have to agree with Claude, and I would like, for the past 2 years, it's been the same thing. It's been rushing in June. I totally agree that the budget should definitely be pushed back a little bit more.
Councilor Foss.
Steve, when will we be taking our first vote, by what you can see?
Once we meet with the Finance Committee on Thursday, I anticipate it will be at the next meeting of
Okay.
the council, whether it's next Tuesday or the following Tuesday.
10-4?
We had, in the schedule that we put forward for reviewing the budget with the council, we had reserved all 4 Tuesdays in June so that we would have alternate dates available in the event we got to where we are right now.
Do you foresee a situation where we would have to extend for 30 days?
Extend what?
Extend the current budget to pay bills?
No.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Let's see how that works. Council committees. Oh, Claude, go ahead.
The committee for the comprehensive plan, I'm getting lost in the terms. The comprehensive plan committee has continued to meet, and the city planner Ann Beveridge has done an excellent job of getting us the kind of data that we're going to need to put a good plan together. So the wheels are turning for that committee.
Thank you, Claude. Anyone else? City managers report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The first thing I'd like to do is report on the current status of the build project. You've all been down Main Street, you've been up Front Street. You can see that there's a lot of excavation work going on and a lot of paving work going on. And I think that it's encouraging that the project is on schedule at this point and that the new Main Street is beginning to emerge. People are beginning to see that the width of the pavement is going to be what you see on the ground right now, adding perhaps a couple of feet on either side. And it's going to be a consistent width for the length of the lower end of Main Street from Post Office Square south to Spring Street. Next, I'd like to comment on a few facilities matters that we're dealing with. The natural gas boilers that are replacing the oil-fired boilers in the City Hall are being installed this week. The 2 boilers, one for the Opera House, one for City Hall, are metered separately, and the Opera House will pay for its heat, the city will pay for its heat. In addition to that, there are 2 underground tanks, a propane tank and an oil tank, in the parking lot behind the building that are going to be removed, and the parties will split the cost on doing that. Out of sight from most people is the work that's going on the taxiway to reconstruct the taxiway at the airport. They are paving the taxiway currently. It's expected to be back in service within the next 2 weeks, and by the end of July, all of the lighting and all the signage that's required by the FAA should be in place, and the project should be complete. It's important to note, for the benefit of everybody in Waterville and the region, that the FAA is heavily investing in the Waterville Municipal Airport. This taxiway project, it's not a runway, it's just a taxiway. This project is costing $6 million, and the FAA is paying for the entire thing. You'll be addressing an amendment to a previous grant by the FAA in your meeting later tonight that is an extension of an offer by the FAA to cover additional eligible costs that were in the project that the grant applies to. This is a previous grant. So the FAA is committed to Waterville and I think we should be committed to the airport as well. Regarding the park improvements that we're working on, if you drive up North Street past the AYCC this week, you'll notice that the tennis court fences have been taken down, and the pavement on the tennis courts is being ground down to level the surface and reclaim it, and they will be paved after that. The basketball court on North Street will also be paved so that we have new surfaces there, and they'll be painted as well. The company that's doing the work is then going to reassemble the fencing around the tennis courts, and we'll be in a newer state that we had planned on. It's the first step in the work that's going to be done on North Street. Quarry Road itself has been graded, so those of you who wish to drive down to the Quarry Road Trails base house, where their pasture is that they play a variety of games in, you won't have a ride that will destroy your suspension in your car. It's good, it's smooth, and it's going to be inviting to those who want to use it. The Alphon Municipal Pool is scheduled to open a week from Saturday on June 18th. The operational transfer has occurred successfully. Right now, the Public Works Department is working with the company that did all of the work upgrading the pool last year to make some minor repairs to it that were over the winter kinds of problems that occurred, but we don't see that there's going to be any significant cost to that, if any. On the personnel side of things, the long-awaited deputy fire chief position has been filled, and the person that we hired is a seasoned professional with a lot of expertise in plan review and inspections, and fits the job description that we put out almost perfectly. We've had a couple of issues that we've been dealing with over the past week or so. One is with some noise problems at the solar farm site on Webb Road that is part of the airport property. There was a lot of activity going on there with hammering posts into the ground that created a fair amount of noise. It's a construction site, so you're going to have noise, but they were operating outside of the 7 to 7 hours of our noise ordinance. They, the code enforcement department, addressed them on that, gave them a fair warning to not work outside the hours. They did it again, and they were fined, I think, $450, and the fine will escalate if they continue to do that. I know it was very disruptive to the neighbors and the peace and tranquility of that neighborhood, and hopefully, once the construction is done, it will be a nice, quiet neighbor, because I don't think solar panels make any noise. We also had one unfortunate accident this week with a police cruiser that was impaled, you might say, by another car. No serious injuries to either party. The fault does not rest with the police officer. However, the car may be a total, but it's insured, so we'll pay the deductible and replace it. In the meantime, we have sufficient vehicles to be able to cover that patrol. And then finally, you all know that we've been working on the inaccuracy of the 2020 census. Our attorney has been working with the U.S. Census Bureau to correct the numbers. Our population in the Colby campus area is short by almost 1,000 people, also by 150 in the downtown area, because the decennial census has been published. The city is required to redraw its ward boundaries if they don't fit, if the populations in the different wards don't fit within set out state parameters. That is the case at this point, but we want to make sure we have the right numbers before we come back to you and do a workshop on redrawing the ward boundaries. We're hoping that we can get the numbers corrected by the Census Bureau before the early July caucuses this year. Can't guarantee that, and we really aren't certain at this point if there are any options to go forward other than to use the boundaries that we have if we don't have corrected numbers by that time. That is the sum of my report.
All right. Now consent.
Yeah, you can do consent. agenda.
Consent agenda.
So moved.
Second?
Patty, can I get a roll call?
This is on the consent agenda?
Yes.
Counsel Morris?
Yes.
Counsel DeBrito?
Yes.
Counsel Klepak?
yes,
Counsel Green?
Yes.
Counsel Foss?
Yes.
Counsel Frankie?
Yes,
Counsel McCormick?
Yes.
The vote is 7 in favor and 0 opposed.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we read the rest of the agenda by title only.
Second?
Patty, roll call.
Counsel Morris?
Yes.
Counsel DeBrito?
Yes.
Counsel Klepak?
yes, yes,
Counsel Green?
Yes.
Counsel Foss?
Not from Aruba, yes.
Counsel Frankie?
yes,
Counsel McCormick?
Yes.
The vote is 7 in favor and 0 opposed.
Order 116, 2022.
Approve amendments to the solar ground lease with MEVS Waterville LLC.
Move to adopt.
Second?
Any discussion? Patty, can I get a roll call?
Counsel Morris?
Yes.
Counsel DeBrito?
Yes.
Counsel Klepak? I think
Muted.
that was a yes. Yes.
Just nod your
yes,
head.
No.
yes, yes,
Counsel Green?
Yes.
Counsel Foss?
Yes.
Counsel Frankie?
yes,
Counsel McCormick?
Yes.
The vote is 7 in favor and 0 opposed.
Moving on to ordinance 126, 2022.
Amend the personnel policy to reflect the comprehensive benefit and salary study 2022.
Move to adopt.
Second?
Any discussion?
Yes, I believe we're going to postpone this, table this item until after the budget is approved.
Second.
Can I get a roll call on that?
Till after the budget approved. Counsel Morris?
Yes.
Counsel DeBrito?
Yes.
Counsel Klepak?
yes,
Counsel Green?
Yes.
Counsel Foss?
Yes.
Counsel Frankie?
yes,
Counsel McCormick?
Yes.
Vote is 7 in favor and 0 opposed.
Tom, I don't care what they say about you. I love you.
From Aruba.
All right. Moving on to new business.
Is it? That was a guess. I didn't know he was in Aruba.
Resolution 130, 2022.
Approve the recommendations from the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA Advisory Committee for use of outside agency funds.
Move to adopt.
Second?
Jennifer.
Is he really in Aruba? No.
He's in Waterville. No, I'm just kidding.
There's palm trees in the back. We can't hear.
Chad, could you turn the mic on, please?
I mean, I can, but I know she ain't coming through.
Really?
See, there's palm trees in the background.
Like Al's head.
It's a green screen. Yeah, it's a green screen.
With the wind and everything.
It's a fan.
Wag the dog. Wag the dog.
All right. Am I on?
Yes.
All right. So I have brought with me the recommendations of the ARPA committee, which were unanimously passed as recommendations for City Council to approve or not approve. And I just wanted to briefly run through what each project was. And looks like this, if you have it in front of you. Habitat for Humanity, they requested 5,000. We are recommending that they be funded at 3,000. What their project is $2,000 or $200 vouchers for folks that come in that are in need of things like household appliances, furnishings, and they can use those vouchers to purchase them from the Restore. The Waterville Area Soup Kitchen requested $15,000. We are requesting to fund at $10,000. That is to fund the Lighthouse program that is kind of across the street from here. They said that most of their clients walk to them. They are almost entirely from Waterville. They are hoping to add breakfast, and they provide to-go meals for anyone that comes in that requests them, so they can come in for lunch and bring home dinner. The Maine Children's Home has requested $20,000. We're recommending to fund at $15,000. This is going to be supporting work with school districts and teens by doing trauma-informed training and guidance of educators and helping connect families and counselors to kind of offset the pandemic effects of the trauma and isolation and help those families with how they're struggling to help their children. The Waterville Community Land Trust has requested $10,000. We are suggesting to fund at $7,000. That is a pilot program that they're kicking off for folks to come to them if they've got a repair in their home that is making it unlivable. That is to help to keep people in their homes, to keep homes from falling into unhabitable disrepair. So that might be fixing a roof, installing a handicapped accessible ramp, but it is to keep people in their homes. And Educare, KV Cap is their partnering agency. They requested $20,000, and we are suggesting to fund at $15,000. And that is for a summer program to help offset summer learning loss for kids in their summer program, in their summer child care program at the Alfond Youth Center. So they're going to be doing different themed weeks focusing on literacy, on math, on different countries of the world, like they might have a Spain week or a France week where they learn different things about the culture, have different reading activities built into like Jeopardy game shows, but that will fund children to be able to go through that funding. The total of that does come to $50,000, which is the amount that we were given to make a recommendation for. And then there were two other agencies that we are most respectfully requesting that you consider funding in next year's budget. And that is, Educare was a different program. AYCC is the summer enrichment program. The KV CAP program with Educare is for their parent ambassador program that helps take parents and educate them on how to be better advocates for themselves, their families, and in their community. It pays stipends for travel, it covers child care, and really helps build a sense of empowerment in their parents. The AYCC is for the summer program. They've requested just under $20,000. We're suggesting to fund at $15,000. And the Mid-Maine Homeless Shelter also requested $20,000. We're suggesting to fund at $15,000 in next year's budget cycle. And that is for a warming cooling center that will be for emergency shelter in life-threatening, dangerous weather, whether that be excessively hot or excessively cold. And there was one organization that applied that we did recommend not to fund, unfortunately. That was Starfish Village. They did not have enough financial information to meet the requirements that we set for being able to apply for these fundings. And unfortunately, as hard as they tried to be located in Waterville, they did unfortunately, for this process, end up establishing themselves in Winslow. And that was a little harder for us to wrap our heads around. So we did not recommend funding for that at this time. So the unanimous recommendation by the committee was for $50,000 this year and hopefully $30,000 next year. Yes, Jay? Oh, you look like you were subtly raising your hand. Does anyone have any questions?
Counselor Foss.
Yes.
The 30,000 for the fiscal year 22-23, Steve, if I'm not mistaken, we've already got line items in there for AYCC and remain homeless. Am I correct in saying that?
There was a line item for AYCC, I believe it was $20,000.
Turn on your mic.
Your mic is not on.
There was a line item for AYCC, I believe it was $20,000. Direct?
Yeah, I'm thinking 21-22 budget. Thought we had line items in those, in those same amounts already. What I'm getting at
That's
is,
what I'm saying.
are we being asked to additionally fund on
No.
top of those two lines?
But you only did it for 1 year. So you're being
Oh,
asked-
that's right. Yeah, there
you're
it is.
being
Thank
asked
you.
to do it for that next
Thank you.
year.
There it is. Okay. That's all.
Counselor Green.
I think that's one reason why we thought if we couldn't fund everyone on the list, that we would push this one forward since they did receive funding this year.
And we did carry forward those earmarks into the next budget.
Any other questions? Thank you.
All right, thank you. And I think you all have great hair.
Thank you. Thank you. Somebody
Now
recognizes.
Now that you need your vote.
Ah, I see.
Okay,
Go ahead.
would I be able to vote on this?
Yes.
Okay.
You're not getting any of the money.
Okay,
It-
I
it's-
am a parent ambassador, though.
But you got to get closer to the mic because I can't hear you out of this speaker, and if I can't hear you, they can't hear
You
you.
don't make those decisions. I mean, you
Okay.
can sort of vote, you can stay out if you want to, but I don't, it's for them to decide if they think it's a conflict.
Okay. I am a parent ambassador for Educare and KV-CAP, so I'm not sure if that makes an impact. No? Okay.
They're not
I'm
getting the
really
money.
glad they actually came and asked for this.
You're
All
not
right.
making, you have no financial gain in this though, correct, Bobby?
None.
No. I'm just a volunteer.
Yeah. If you don't feel conflict, it doesn't seem like you are.
All right. Patty, can I get a roll call?
Counsel Morris,
Yes.
Counsel DeBrito,
Yes.
Counsel Klepak,
Yeah.
Counsel Green,
Yes.
Counsel Foss,
Yes.
Counsel Frankie,
Thank you to the ARPA committee for excellent work. Yes.
McCormick, Counsel McCormick.
Yes.
The vote is 7 in favor and 0 opposed.
And one thing I have to point out, I really like the service area for, it was really to see that it's covering housing, food and security, mental health, education, so I really appreciate that. Thank you for a really good job.
All right. Order 131, 2022.
Approve Colby College donation Riverwalk surveillance system.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion?
What is that?
The Colby's gonna give us $30-some thousand towards the cameras downtown.
Oh, that's, okay, that's good.
Steve?
Just for everyone's benefit, this is the first of 3 items that you will be voting on tonight. $30,000 from Colby, $11,000 from the forfeiture fund in the police department that will make up the $41,000 that the system is going to cost. The third vote is to authorize contracting with the vendor.
Any further discussion? Patty, can I get a roll call?
Counsel Morris,
Yes.
Counsel DeBrito,
Yes.
Counsel Klepak,
Yes.
Counsel Green,
Yes.
Counsel Foss,
Yes.
Counsel Frankie,
Yes.
Counsel McCormick.
Yes.
The vote is 7 in favor and 0 opposed.
Moving on to Resolution 133, 2022.
132.
132.
Oh, did I just skip right over? I'm
Yes, you
sorry. I did. I went right to the buying.
Authorize use of drug funds for surveillance system.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, Patty, can I get a roll call?
Counsel Morris,
Yes.
Counsel DeBrito,
Yes.
Counsel Klepak,
Yes.
Counsel Green,
Yes.
Counsel Foss,
No.
Counsel Frankie,
Yes.
Counsel McCormick.
Yes.
The vote is 6 in favor and 1 opposed.
All right. Now I'm going to move on to Resolution 133, 2022.
Authorize Riverwalk surveillance system purchase.
Any discussion?
We need to put it on the floor first.
Oh,
Second.
Is there a motion to put it on the floor?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Second.
odd turn of events. All right. Any discussion? Patty, can I get a roll call? Oh, sorry. Did you have something?
Well,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that, I had previously questioned the idea of putting a surveillance system in a public park, but unfortunately, I do think that we need this, as unfortunate as that is, and I hope that will make the park more enjoyable for all our residents and also show that we are committed to preventing vandalism in the city at that location and elsewhere.
Yeah, and one thing too, for me, it's gonna be safe for the children to go down there. So,
I'd like to think it was safe before. However, I still don't like the cameras down there. I understand them. I don't get to vote, so I don't have to worry about it. However, I hope this does what we think it's going to do. I'm not sure it will. But I want to not thank everyone who made it required for us to put cameras down there. Anyone who put graffiti down there, anybody who destroyed property. I hope you have, like, hair in your teeth. I mean, this bugs me. Go.
I have to agree with and why I voted against on the last resolution is I don't like the cameras. I'm in a situation of my own that we have video and we still don't have a resolution. And I'm not blaming anybody. That's not the point at all. I do not like cameras watching people's every move. To keep people safe, we got to be good parents. That's what keeps us safe with our kids. Now, cameras being what they are, like the mayor said, anybody down there spray painting and all that, I know this is going to go through. Pray for them. Don't do it. We get a good, clean picture of you. I know Chief's going to go after you. So, respect. We as a society have got to be more respectful of our surroundings. Plain and simple.
Like I tell my kids, spatial awareness.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
So,
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh. Do we have
Yep,
a
go ahead.
question from the floor?
I just had a question about what other options
Nope.
might have been considered.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Question will be done. Elizabeth Leonard, Ward 4. It's on?
Yep.
I just had a question about what other options might have been considered for dealing with the vandalism in the park besides the cameras. I understand that's one option. It just seems to me there might be others, and I'm curious what other ones might have been considered and tossed aside before we go to this one.
Chief, do you have any? Thank you.
The police department has employed every option we possibly can. We've increased our patrol, we've done targeted patrol, we've done plainclothes patrol. The fact of the matter is we can't be down there 24/7. And this really is kind of one of the jewels of our community. And I think we need to ensure the public that when they get down there that they'll be safe. And that we can also hold people accountable who vandalize that area down there. That's one of our best amenities, I think, in the city. I understand, cameras and surveillance on the general public. I get that very much. But I think it's well-needed technology that allow us to hold people accountable, recoup some of the money or the cost of those vandalisms that occur down there. So overall, I think it's a good expenditure, and we've done everything we can.
I think in looking at the footprint in which the cameras are placed, I think they're strategically placed in areas in which the city has an interest in protecting, its assets, being the gazebos and, the stage and the things around the Riverwalk and things like that. So there's a huge area of space that's not covered, as far as, people worried about like Waterville rocks and, things of that nature and being captured on camera. Like, I don't think though these cameras will capture that. Like, this is just, again, protecting the city's assets and investments in this area. So.
I'd also consider the fact that if you were one of the people donating the money to make these things possible, and don't see the council or anybody else making strides to save your investment, you find out that you just donated 5 benches and all 5 benches ended up in the river. What the city do about it? You can. Sorry, I don't want a camera. The camera is only going to keep an honest man honest. The individuals that are going to commit the crime are going to commit the crime anyway.
Patty, can I get a roll call? Oh, sorry.
Before we do the roll call, this particular item, I believe, is considered to be unique and non-competitive, so that we only have one bid that we're going with, due to the fact that this company has also installed the security system at City Hall. So I move to declare the acquisition of a security camera system from CCTV Security Surveillance System as unique and non-competitive per Article 5.c of the Purchasing Ordinance, thereby waiving the Article 4 bid processes of said ordinance.
Second.
Can I get a roll call on that?
Counsel Morris?
Yes.
Counsel DeBrito?
Yes.
Counsel Klepak?
And he's frozen
Yeah.
again.
Counsel Green?
Yes.
Counselor Foss?
Yes.
Counselor Frankie?
Yes.
Counselor McCormick?
Yes.
Counselor Klepak?
Yes.
The vote is 7 in favor and
Yes.
0 opposed.
Move as amended.
Second.
Patty, can I get a roll call on that?
Counsel Morris?
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito?
Yes.
Counselor Klepak?
Yes.
Counselor Green?
Yes.
Counselor Foss?
No.
Counselor Frankie?
Yes.
Counselor McCormick?
Yes.
The vote is 6 in favor and 1 opposed.
All right. Order 134, 2022.
Approve FAA grant amendments WVLNEG 3-23-0047-025-2020.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion?
Could you just elaborate a little bit on this for us, Steve?
Madam Chair, I wish I could, but for the life of me, I can't remember what that grant was for.
To complete the closeout of the FAA, must amend the original grant amount to include additional eligible costs assumed during the project.
Pavement Preservation Project. Let's see if we can jog some memory.
Say it again, please.
We just had
Pavement-
money left over.
Pavement Preservation Project.
Thank you.
Didn't help?
So
Should we move this to the next meeting then, because I don't really know what it's about either.
Let's, I'll make a motion to table until the next
Second.
regularly scheduled.
Well,
Perhaps
I think Steve talked about this in his manager's report, that this is just finishing up the work up at the, on the taxiway.
the
This
6
is
million?
just a routine, thing where the FAA is giving us a little extra money. I don't know that we actually need to table this, Rick. Let's just go ahead and pass this and move on.
Yeah, this is extremely routine. And if you want to table it until later in the meeting, I will get an answer to your question.
I will, I'll make a move on that.
Okay.
Randy, this is the council notes from Randy.
I'll reach out.
So there's a motion to table till later in the meeting. Is there a
Yes.
second?
Second.
There it is.
Patty, can I get a roll call on that?
Counsel Morris?
Yep.
Counsel DeBrito?
No.
No? Counsel Klepak?
I'm voting to table it till the later part of the meeting,
Yes,
so we can get an answer for Rick.
correct.
Sure.
Counsel Green?
Yes.
Counsel Foss?
Yes?
Counsel Frankie?
Yes,
Counsel McCormick?
Yes.
Vote is 6 in favor and 1 opposed.
All right, moving on to Resolution 135, 2022.
Whoa, 135. 135, where am I? There we are. I found it. Authorize use of South End Capital Improvement Fund.
Move to adopt?
Second.
Any discussion? Steve, you want to tell us about this?
Yes, the South End Neighborhood Association, represented by Anna Holdener tonight, has come to you and asked to be able to use $1,000 out of the fund that's been set aside for their purposes to construct a fence around their community garden, which is on Moore Street, I think it is. Yes. I think the entire expenditure is going to be in the range of $6,000, and this $1,000 just gets them over the top.
Giddy up.
Any further discussion? Patty, can I get a roll call?
Counsel Morris?
Yes.
Counsel DeBrito?
Yes.
Counsel Klepak?
Counselor
He
Klepak.
left.
On.
He stopped
He has left
pretending.
the building.
He stopped pretending to freeze.
Counsel Green?
Yes.
Counsel Foss?
Yes?
Counsel Frankie?
yes,
Counsel McCormick?
Yes.
The vote is 6 in favor and 0 opposed.
All right, moving on to Order 136, 2022.
Accept a donation for the Waterville Skate Park project.
Move to adopt?
Second.
Any discussion?
Where's the donation coming from?
Steve? Or Matt?
Looks like Kennebec Savings Bank, Federal
Yeah.
Credit Union, Maine Community Foundations.
I mean, the next few are you
Oh,
anyway. You might as well sit there.
I don't see Tony Hawk's name in that list, though. I'm just thinking.
Tony, too good for us.
So are you all set?
Yeah.
All set now, Counselor DeBrito?
Yeah.
DeBrito, yeah. Yeah, it was interesting that Augusta just reached out to us. We didn't solicit any extra help. We had a budget for our project. We had a design. But it's a pretty close community of skaters, so they reached out to us, and I think it's very generous to have come up with $30,000 for us for our park, so we were able to expand it by nearly 20%.
Augusta's got a nice little skate park on the east side on Bangor Street, so, yeah.
That's really nice.
Not that I could skate it, but, you know, whatever.
I mean,
It's besides the
I'd
point.
pay.
You
I'd
got-
be.
you
I'd
got
be
nice
willing to
hair.
pay to watch.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? Go.
So just to provide a little more context, what this does is it expands by 8 feet. It adds a rail, it adds a ledge, and it centers the quarter pipes, which brings the dimensions to around 22 feet deep by, this is very hard to do on a phone, guys. And then the flat area is 66 feet across, and then the quarter pipes are 11 feet additionally on the edge there, with those additional features kind of get added into the center. And so what happened is we had an original design. Friends of Green Street Park kind of said, hey, we have an original design. We're really excited about it. If you're a skater, you'd like a sneak peek at it, let us know. We were a little overwhelmed with the number of skaters who have apparently been paying attention to what's going on and reached out. A couple of them were concerned that the park was just going to be too small. And so they reached out to Toby Parkhurst, who lives in Augusta, kind of grew up in this area, and has kind of really helped with a lot of the park projects across the state of Maine. And he went out, and did some fundraising and got us this additional money, which will give us now $155,000, for the park.
All right, it's not Tony Hawk, but it's pretty close.
I mean, you got,
Pretty close.
And it's main celebrity, so.
any other questions? All right, oh, yep.
Hi, my name is Denise Dutel. On behalf of my son, David Dutel Jr., who started this effort years ago, put in a lot of hard work into making the park happen. We're just extremely grateful to you all to finally get this done. And in the future going forward, I would ask to please name this park after him because he put in so much work to have this done. So, thank you.
Patty, can I get a roll call?
Counsel Morris,
Yes.
Counsel DeBrito,
Yes.
no Counselor Klepak, Counselor Green,
Yes.
Counselor Foss,
Yes.
Counselor Frankie,
Yes,
Counselor McCormick.
Yes.
The vote is 6 in favor and 0 opposed.
And to think cities used to make it harder to skateboard.
Bring your helmets.
It's because us Gen Xers grew up. All right.
Some of us.
Definitely not me. Moving on to Resolution 137. 2022.
Authorize the city manager to extend a contract with Waste Zero, Raleigh, North Carolina, for purple disposable bags.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion? Please.
This and the next item on your agenda both have to do with solid waste disposal. We are at a junction point, you might say, in time where we have to make some decisions about how we're going to handle our solid waste over the next several years. This extension and the next vote that you'll take for another extension will give us enough time that we can put together a team that can evaluate all the options that are available to us in Maine and come back to the council with not only operating recommendations but budgetary recommendations. One of the key factors in all of this is the future of the recycling facility in Hamden, I believe it is, that has been shut down for a while now. It is on the market, and the MRC, which stands for something I don't recall, but Matt will know what it is.
Municipal Review Committee.
Thank you. The Municipal Review Committee has a standing bid in on the project that if it goes to them, it will become a regional authority of sorts. The city will have an opportunity to reinvest in it as it did in the beginning. And those things are things that we need to weigh and figure out how to go forward.
Question. So this contract expires in 2024? Is that 2 years?
This one is 2 years. Yes, the next one is 1 year.
Okay. Okay.
Aren't we trying to find a solution to purple bags?
Say it again?
When I look at your brief, 137 says, 1 year supply of purple trash bags, and then this resolution says we're going to enter in a contract for 2 years.
I misstated it in the brief.
Okay.
I mean, so that sort of sets us up for not having this discussion for another 2 years.
Or it gives you, it gives you the 2 years to have the discussion, and then in 2 years make a change.
If you want to hold it to 1 year, we can go back to them and see if we can negotiate that.
Well, there's certainly a greater discussion to have, and I think the one pain point that people have with municipal trash is the quality of the bags, and again, we dictate that by our cost of what we want to pay for them. We could pay more, right, and get a thicker bag or whatever, but I think the biggest pain point of residents is just, like, they'd like just to bring their own bag to the party and just throw a sticker or something like that on there. And, you know, I know we've had this conversation before. It was like, yeah, we'd take a look at that, but I don't know that we need 2 years to take a look at putting a sticker on a bag. Huh?
Just make it one. Authorize,
Authorize it for 1 year.
yeah, just,
Okay.
let's
Yeah,
do that.
I mean, I was going to say, if we have an option for 1 year, let's do it so that the two contracts expire at the same time. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That's
In
fine.
the meantime, we don't seem to have a better alternative, so
So
let's study the
procedurally,
options.
Should we postpone this to see whether there is the option for a one-year contract?
No, I would amend the motion to say June 30, 2023, and that's what we'll go back to waste, or they,
So
we'll go back to waste zero with that in hand.
So moved on that motion,
Second.
Can I get a roll call?
Counsel Morris?
Yes.
Counsel DeBrito?
Yes.
Counselor Klepak? He's not here. Counselor, sorry.
Palm trees and wind.
Counselor Green?
Yes.
Counselor Foss?
Yes.
Counselor Frankie?
We're voting to amend it to a one-year contract?
Correct.
Yes.
Counselor McCormick?
Yes.
The vote is 6 in favor and 0 opposed.
Move it amended.
Second.
Wow, we're actually going to talk about it this year, huh? Getting rid of them purple ones? Figuring out a different solution? I'm down for that.
I like the stickers.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna find something.
You don't have those in one.
I'd like to find out if they, before you get hot and bothered about stickers, let's find out who buys the place.
About what place?
Whoever's taking over the regional,
Yeah, but I
let's
think-
find out who's actually gonna land it.
I think that's irrelevant to our cost.
Right.
In the long run, we're still gonna have to supply the citizens a product that they can put their trash in that we then have to dispose of.
Right.
By the way, I'm not gonna be part of that conversation. Not so long.
I'm sure you'll get over it.
He's gonna go. He's gonna go.
You
I don't
won't.
have orange bags
You
on my-
won't lose any hair over it. I'm sure.
Wow. Did you see where he went with that?
Patty, can I get a roll call? Patty, can I get a roll call?
Yes. I don't know, can I just vote?
Yes.
You ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Counselor Morris?
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito? Yes. Counselor Klepak is not here. Counselor Green?
Yes.
Counselor Foss?
Yes.
Counselor Frankie?
Yes.
Counselor McCormick?
Yes, and if you hadn't brought up not being here, it wouldn't have been said.
The vote is 6 in favor and 0 opposed.
I mean, you did walk in it.
I could take it. Don't get it.
Resolution 138, 2022.
Authorize the city manager to renew a contract with Eco Maine for recycling services.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion? Patty, can I get a roll call?
Counselor Morris?
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito? Counselor Green?
Yes.
Counselor Foss?
Yes.
Counselor Frankie?
Yes.
Counselor McCormick?
Yes.
The vote is 6 in favor and 0 opposed.
All right, moving on to Resolution 139, 2022.
Establishing hours for voter registration.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion? I was waiting for a hand. Go ahead,
So,
Patty. Nope, sorry, nope.
Well,
I was looking at
I always
Claudia.
just like to have a recap because some people watching at home may not know what this is about. So can you just summarize for us?
Sure. State statute requires that prior to every election that we have extended hours at City Hall, at the municipal office for voter registration. But it's been extremely slow for this primary election, so there's really no need to have extended hours. So the municipal officers have to override state statute. And that's what this does, to just say that our regular office hours will be the times allowed for voter registration, and also at the polls next Tuesday at the Waterville Junior High from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay, thank you. So no evening hours
Correct.
needed. Okay.
And I'm not in a primary this year.
Nor am I. Claude?
Patty, is it still possible to vote absentee down at City Hall?
Yes, the deadline to request an absentee ballot for no reason is 4:30 PM on Thursday, June 9th. After that, you need a special reason why you can't be at the polls on Election Day.
And are you set up at City Hall for absentee voting at City Hall?
Yes, we are.
Where?
In the Michael J. Roy room.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Patty, can I get a roll call?
Counsel Morris?
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito?
Yes.
Counselor Green?
Yes.
Counselor Foss?
Yes.
Counselor Frankie?
Yes.
Counselor McCormick?
Yes.
The vote is 6 in favor and 0 opposed.
Moving on to ordinance 140, 2022.
Amend purchasing ordinance.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion? Go ahead, Steve.
As an introduction for everybody, this is a vote to append to the existing city purchasing ordinance a procedure that will comply with federal regulations having to do with the expenditure of federal funds. Our auditing firm drafted the appendage, and they assure us that it complies with all the necessary standards. They also recommended that we not change the city's purchasing procedures to be consistent with this federal procedure because they are significantly different.
Any further discussion? Can I get a roll call?
Counselor Morris?
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito?
Yes.
Counselor Green?
Yes.
Counselor Foss?
Yes.
Counselor Frankie?
Yes.
Counselor McCormick?
Yes.
The vote is 6 in favor and 0 opposed. And we now are back to item 134, which is to approve the FAA grant amendment.
Motion to bring it back from table.
Second.
We have any more information?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. The original grant was for $332,000 to do crack sealing, seal coating, and repainting of the traffic markings on the runways and the aprons and one of the taxiways at the airport. This addition is $19,000, so it makes the total of the grant $351,000.
Thank you, Steve.
So it's just increasing the amount of money the federal government is allocating to the project?
Yes, in fact, what it's doing is it's increasing the grant amount to meet the actual cost of the
Right.
project.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Patty, can I get a roll call?
Counselor Morris?
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito?
Yes.
Counselor Green?
Yes.
Counselor Foss?
Yes.
Counselor Frankie?
Yes.
Counselor McCormick?
Yes.
The vote is 6 in favor and 0 opposed.
Mr. Mayor, if I may add, the airport manager just told me that this evening, the FAA also informed him that we'll be getting a $300,000 grant for a master plan at the airport.
Keep giving us money, FAA.
Was on the news, I think, wasn't it? It was
getting
on
our money
Facebook
back.
too,
Yeah,
earlier
whatever.
today.
Let's just take it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was on Facebook.
Public comments? None? That's right. Anybody online?
No.
And I know Rick's all excited, but I still have some stuff.
So close.
So, I haven't spent a lot of time making proclamations. I've done 5 or 6 over the last year or so. Obviously, it's Pride Month. Everybody knows that.
You missed one.
Which one?
The Pride Month.
Yes.
No, that's today. That's what I'm talking about. You just interrupted. So, I struggle. I thought about it because Counselor Green reached out and she's like, "Are we going to do one this year?" And I'm like, "I mean, we can." I said, "Why not?" And then I got to thinking about it. I'm like, well, I can just get Sarah to reprint the one from last year. And honestly, it feels hollow because I'm reading the words that some I've penned, but really it's excerpts or pieces that somebody else has grabbed for me to read. And I didn't want to do that this year. And I think about it because I've seen kids who come to my house. I see how families treat their children when they don't agree with their lifestyle. And I needed an opportunity to make sure that my children know that no matter what they choose in their life, that I'm going to love them. I have never in my life been or felt threatened by somebody from the LGBTQIA. There's so many letters now, I lose track. But at the end of the day, I've never felt threatened. I don't work with anybody who is bigoted. I've never seen you guys sort of act in any malicious way, which I appreciate because I'd have called you out. But this year I just wanted it to be more heartfelt. I didn't want a proclamation. I didn't want it to be fake. Politicians and leaders everywhere are always reading off of sheets, and it seems so bull, like it's not real. They don't mean it. And if I was going to do something or going to say something this year, it really needed to be, my children are now 12 and 14. They're getting to that age. And even if you're not my children, if you're somebody else's child and you are shunned or you are not respected or you do not feel safe, find me. Come get me. I will find you somewhere safe. I will get you with like-minded people. And that's all I got.
He's on TikTok.
I am not. I am not.
They can find you.
They
on TikTok.
He's on TikTok. They can find me there. Councilor Green?
So I think that the purpose of the proclamation, whether it's repeated verbatim from one year to the next, is an important statement for the city to make, that LGBTQ people are welcome in Waterville, that we uphold their dignity, their rights, and we celebrate with them this month. And so I think that really is the intention. So I just wanted to say that to all LGBTQ and allies out there, that this month is important to me and clearly to the mayor. We do want to support you and your celebrations this month.
Anyone else?
That's a motion to adjourn.
Good night.